What's up guys, it is THETBALL and I am back with another video. So today, I'm going to be going over 10 players you didn't know we're still in the NBA. So before I start, if you want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I really do appreciate all the support. So there are hundreds of players in the NBA, and it's very hard to keep track of all the players given that many players come in and out of the league. However, as I go through the list of all players in the NBA, there are some players who are surprisingly still playing. This may be surprising for a variety of reasons, whether it be that the player has become irrelevant due to the modern NBA game, not fitting old school games, some guys have been in the league as a role player for so long, and some players being simply so bad that it's surprising that a team still has them. So, let's go over 10 players who are surprisingly still in the NBA. So first up, I have Greg Monroe. Monroe is a player who would have been an all-star 10 years ago, as his post-scoring game would have been dominant in many games. However, teams have now shifted to playing more fast-paced and including a lot more shooting in their offenses, and Monroe struggles to do both. He's a pretty slow-footed player on both sides of the floor, and at most he can hit some shots from mid-range, but that's about it. He's now a third-string center for the Raptors that plays in garbage time, or if Ibaka or Valanciunas is hurt. At least he got a big contract with the Bucks because now he's only getting the minimum, and this will likely be all he's getting in the future unless he changes his game to a more perimeter-oriented game on offense. So next up, I have Jose Calderon. Calderon has been in the NBA for a long time now, for 14 seasons, and he's now on the Pistons at 37 years old. He played a relatively large role for the Cavs last season with injuries to Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving being traded to the Celtics. However, it does seem that many people have forgotten about Calderon, and he's actually played a sizable role for the Pistons yet again this season. While he's averaging only 11.9 minutes per game, he's played in 21 games and recently he's seen more minutes with Ish Smith out. He's been a steady presence off the bench, and he's been solid at making good and smart passes. It's great to see him playing again, and I think he has a chance to be one of the few NBA players to play until 40 years old if he wants to. Bismack Biyombo was dominant in the 2016 Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavs, where he was a rebounding and blocking machine for the Raptors. But he later left that offseason for the Magic, where he got a crazy 4-year, $72 million deal. He played relatively poorly there, seeing few minutes on a bad Magic team, and couldn't do much on offense. He was then traded to the Hornets this past offseason, and he's barely seen any non-garbage time minutes. He's playing behind Cody Zeller, Juan Hernan-Gomez, and Frank Kaminsky, who plays the 5 at times as well, and it's hard to see Biyombo getting minutes anytime soon, unless injuries occur in the Hornets front court. All he is right now is a bad contract and a third-string center, and it's going to be interesting to see if he gets another contract once his current deal is up. Kenneth Faried was once thought to be one of the most promising players in the NBA about 5 years ago, as his crazy athleticism allowed him to get easy points off of alley-oops and grab a lot of rebounds as well. However, his porous defense, poor rim protection, and inability to shoot from outside the paint led to the downfall of his career, and he didn't see many minutes with the Nuggets over his last 2 seasons with the team. He was then traded to the Nets this past offseason, and he hasn't seen many minutes here either. I'm surprised he hasn't been given another chance as possibly a small ball 5, but his lack of size and rim protection at the center position may make him too much of a liability on defense to keep on the floor. It's a sad fall for the Manimal, who was once one of the most exciting players to watch in the NBA. So next up, I have Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne has been flat out bad since he first came to the NBA, after being drafted by the Thunder back in the 2015 NBA draft. He's an inefficient shooter, a below-average passer for a point guard, and a terrible defender. He really can't do much at the NBA level, and by Bulls fans he's known as the Tank Commander. He's been flat out terrible so far in his career, and a couple of good games here and there will make up for his all-around poor play. He should be out of the league soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut by the Bulls soon given that Dunn is back and healthy, and Arcidiacono has played very well this season as one of the only bright spots on the team. So next up, I have Raymond Felton. Raymond Felton was a solid starting point guard back in the day, when he first came to the Knicks back in the 2010-11 season, but things went downhill when he was traded to the Nuggets and then the Blazers. He gained a lot of weight and looked out of shape when he was on the floor. However, he got somewhat back on track and was solid with the Mavericks, especially in the playoffs, but now with the Thunder, he has been pretty bad. He dribbles the ball too much and can't finish at the rim like he used to, and not to mention his defense has been horrible. It's surprising he's still in the league even as a third-string guard, as I don't think he's NBA caliber anymore, though he's had an overall good NBA career. I'd be surprised if he gets another contract next season, but it's possible he plays for a tanking team that is looking for a veteran presence and a mentor for the young players. Milos Teodosic had so much hype coming into the NBA last season as a 30-year-old point guard who dominated the EuroLeague with his passing. However, injuries derailed his season last year, and he's now buried in the Clippers backcourt that already has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, and Avery Bradley. He has seen some spot minutes lately, but his poor defense has made it hard for Rivers to play in many minutes. But when Teodosic is playing, his passing is a joy to watch, and he could definitely shoot it from 3 at times as well. I'd expect him to go back to the EuroLeague next season and play a lot of minutes over there, and I'll definitely find time to watch him play wherever he goes. So next up, I have Ian Clark. Clark played a pretty big role for the Warriors off the bench a few seasons ago, but with the Pelicans he has struggled to see minutes in a weak second unit. He struggled to shoot the ball and get in a rhythm in New Orleans, and this has forced Gentry to play Frazier over him, who they recently signed this season. Clark is averaging only 3.9 points on 35.2% shooting from the field and 28.6% shooting from 3, and if he keeps continuing to play this poorly, he'll have a lot of trouble finding a new contract next season. I do hope Clark will get another opportunity next season, as I still think he could be a useful scorer and shooter off the bench like he was with the Warriors just a few seasons ago. A change of scenery would be good for Clark, and now he'll just need a team to give him another chance to showcase his skills. So next up, I have Thabo Sefolosha. Sefolosha played a big role for the Thunder from 2009 to 2014, as he was a top perimeter defender who could hit the 3. He then signed with the Hawks where he was solid there as well, but with the Jazz he has struggled to find any rhythm dealing with injuries that allowed him to play in only 38 games last season. He's averaging only 11.1 minutes per game this season for the Jazz, and he hasn't been as effective as he used to be as a defender for a struggling Utah team. Hopefully, he'll pick it up soon and provide some solid defense and shooting that can help get Utah back into the playoff picture. So finally, I have Devin Harris. Harris has been in the NBA for what seems to be an eternity. He's still playing 15.6 minutes per game for the Mavericks off the bench, and while he has struggled with his shot so far this season, we all know he could get hot in a hurry. The 35-year-old isn't as good as he used to be back in his days with the Nets, but he's still a solid veteran presence and could still have a positive impact on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if he and Calderon play until their 40s, as I definitely think it will be possible for both these guys as long as they stay in shape, and don't expect a huge role on a team. So that's a wrap. Thanks guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. Also follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas for me to do. Let me know so I do try to get back to all you guys there. Drop a comment down below on which players you were surprised to still see in the NBA, or were there any players I missed? Let me know down in the comments below, as I do read all comments, and I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say. So with all that being said, once again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon for my next video. Peace.